Welcome everyone to today's ManageCasa webinar. My name is Jennifer. I'll be your moderator for this exciting session where we'll dive into electronic payments. All right. We've got a fantastic agenda lined up for you. First, we'll walk through some of the common challenges with traditional payment methods and explore the benefits of electronic payments. After that, we'll show you a live demo to give you a closer look at how easy it is to make the switch. And of course, we'll wrap up with a Q&A session to address all your burning questions. Historically, paying association dues and rent was a manual process. Common methods included checks, drop-off payments, and third-party payment apps, which often led to delays and complications, such as payment processing delays, bounced checks, and time-consuming tasks of reconciliation. For example, checks could take several days to process and clear, and manual reconciliation between payments and accounting software was prone to errors. These issues are still common today, though online payment systems like ManageCasa offer a faster, more secure alternative, eliminating many of the delays and complexities associated with traditional methods. Now, the problem is some people still prefer paying by check. Despite being the norm for years, paying by check comes with significant drawbacks. For one, it's time-consuming and costly. Processing checks takes around 1 to 2 hours to handle just 100 checks, adding up to considerable labor costs over time. We also have the bank reconciliation hassles, which means matching checks to bank deposits make reconciliation slow and prone to errors. Then there's rising risk of fraud. Check fraud is increasing with fraudsters finding new ways to intercept and alter checks, exposing businesses to potential losses. In short, checks are both time-intensive and risky, making electronic payments a smarter, safer choice moving forward. I know what some of you might be thinking, but what about the cost of electronic payments? Aren't those fees really high? Let's take a moment to debunk some common concerns. So myth number one, electronic payment processing fees are too high. This is a common misconception, but let's break it down. For payments over $100, ACH is often the most cost-effective option with a flat fee of $3 per transaction. For smaller amounts, credit cards are a great choice, with processing fees averaging around 3%. This is better for managing cash flow, especially if you have smaller payments coming in. Now let's go to myth number two, checks are free. While checks may seem cost-free, they come with hidden expenses. You need to buy checks, pay for postage, which is about 73 cents now, and use an envelope. Plus, processing checks takes time, both for mailing and waiting for clearance, and carries a risk of fraud. When you factor in these costs, electronic payment fees become much more reasonable. Many residents and tenants are already shifting to electronic payments for convenience. Well, some still prefer checks due to perceived fees, but with ManageCasa as an admin, you can actually adjust electronic payment fees. For instance, you could charge residents only $1 of a $3 ACH fee, absorbing the remaining cost to encourage more people to switch. All right, the ManageCasa owner/tenant portals offers convenience and flexibility. For the charges, you can easily see the open balance and due amounts, something paper statements can provide. You can also make payments directly from your computer or phone without the hassle of checks, so it's really convenient. In terms of payment history, you can track all payments electronically, allowing you to see exactly when and how much you paid. You don't need to dig through old bank statements. It also comes with flexibility. If you have multiple properties, the portal lets you choose which ones to pay first, offering you more control. So it's actually an all-in-one tool because beyond payments, you can also submit violation tickets, architectural requests, or maintenance requests for rentals. You can also access community files and communicate directly with the community manager. ManageCasa portal is designed to handle all aspects of managing payments and communication in one place, making it easy and efficient for both residents and tenants. All right, let me show you how web and mobile version looks like. As mentioned earlier, there are two ways by which residents and tenants can make payments. So either on your computer or on your mobile phone. And ManageCasa also supports Apple Pay. So this option is something that can be used by those who prefer to pay via mobile phone. Let's now go to autopay and auto reconciliation. Autopay is the most efficient way for residents and tenants to handle payments. Once set up, it eliminates the risk of missed payments, it reduces stress for residents, and ensures property managers receive guaranteed payments without chasing down anyone. It also simplifies everything, providing real-time tracking of payments and eliminating the need for manual reconciliation. With tools like ManageCasa, payments are automatically matched to correct the charges, saving time and avoiding confusion. I'd say it's a hassle-free, reliable solution for both residents and property managers. Okay, so let's have a look at the benefits of electronic payments. So it's time saver for the payer. It's time saver. You set up automatic payments once and forget about writing or mailing checks. You only need to update if something changes, like an address or payment amount. You can skip the hassle of buying checks, stamps, and worrying about lost mail. And of course, payments are processed securely and instantly, eliminating the risk of fraud or interception. As for the payee, you don't have to collect checks or make trips to the bank. Everything is automated. Funds are also available within 24 to 48 hours compared to checks that can take days or weeks to clear. And more importantly, automated payments reduce the risk of late payments, improving cash flow and eliminating the need to chase down delinquencies. On this slide, we can see who control payment fees. So whether you're managing an association, rental property, or both, you have flexibility in how payments are handled. With ManageCasa, you can choose who is responsible for paying fees. So it could be the payee, that's the owner or tenant, directly paying the fees such as rent, assessments, or utilities. It could also be the association, wherein the association can take on the responsibility of paying fees, making it more convenient for the residents. And of course, the rental property managers. For rental properties, the property manager can cover payment fees to incentivize tenants to pay online, ensuring timely and easy payments. Now, to summarize, the big takeaway here is that electronic payments save time, it improves reconciliation, and avoid headaches. Whether you're paying or receiving payments, automation takes the guesswork out of the equation. No more writing checks, no more mailing checks, no more manual processing, and no more worries about fraud. Setting up electronic payments, including automatic payments, is easier than ever. And in most cases, processing fees are covered by the payee. So you can rest easy knowing that this investment is worth every penny when you consider the time and efficiency it saves. Okay, so in a moment, we'll be showing you the live demo. But just before that, let me just say that setting up electronic payments is simple. And once you've done it, you'll never want to go back. Payments become faster, more secure, and way easier to manage. Just don't take our word for it. Start educating your users and show them the benefits. It's time to make your payment process smoother and more efficient. Now, I'll hand things over to my colleague, Drew, for the live demo. Over to you, Drew.
Yeah, thanks, Jennifer. Thanks for the great summary over things. Oh, wait, I'm looking at my camera up here. Thanks for the great summary. Appreciate all that background. And so I'm happy to show you now the ePayments in action. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. All right. So so where we left off at the last webinar, we talked about invoices and stuff like that. But I'm going to go over to settings, and there's a couple of things that are important when first setting up ePayments. And the very first thing is going through the account verification process. Now, this account, I've already gone through the verification process. This is a way to ensure that we have all the necessary information that we need in order to make sure that we're legal and you're legal around the different payment process. And this flow has a number of different steps, but as you can see, it has a nice kind of wizard that goes through and it helps you through the process. It's a simple and easy flow that goes through. We just need a certain, there's some requirements around Social Security number or company ID and that type of stuff. But once you're set up, you're ready to go. As long as you have the ePayment subscription up and running, down here under ePayments, this allows you to be able to basically set up and kind of configure how you're going to charge and absorb the different fees that Jennifer talked about. Now, once you get set up with ePayments, there's an onboarding process that we'll go through, and your account representative will help you through. And as part of this, we'll set up a series of ePayment limits. And these are the default kind of limits that go through. Basically it says, okay, you could charge people up to $800 per transaction. There's a monthly transaction limit. There's a monthly deposit limit. These things are all configurable. Your account manager will work with you to kind of set those up. If at any time that you say, hey, I'm doing great, we're going to be charging more fees, you can always request new limits, and you enter the new limits that you want, and you put in a reason. This goes directly to our support team. They'll take a look at it. This widget allows you to have kind of a back and forth conversation, and then assuming everything's all good, we'll increase your limits, and you won't skip a beat. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about setting up the fees and the way the fee processes work. So when someone makes a payment, and you'll see this a little bit later, but when someone makes a payment, we will either charge them. We'll set up, okay, well, there's going to be a $3 ACH fee or a 3% credit card fee, and that money goes directly from the person who's paying to your bank account. All right, it flows directly. So we don't take any money out from that. All that money, based on what's set up on this page, gets collected from the person who's paying, and it goes directly to your bank account, and it will deposit into your bank account. And there's a lot of different options that you can choose. You can say, okay, all fees go to this bank account, and the principal goes to this bank account. So those are all different configuration settings that your account manager can help you set up. The thing to remember is that, what we'll do, what ManageCasa does, is behind the scenes, we'll look at those fees that we're charging you, and we will charge those separately. We will charge those separately, and we will invoice you either at the end of the month, or if it's reached over a certain threshold, we will charge you over time. So, and all of those charges that we charge you are documented, and it's basically it's a flat fee. It's it's $3 for ACH, and it's 2.9% here plus 50 cents. But let's talk a little bit about how we set these things up. So at any time, you have the option to edit your ePayment settings. And the main one you're going to be changing is the tenant payments, or this is, or it could be owner payments. It's payments into your account. And these are the default settings that come in. And this is the area where you have the ability to be able to specify where all the money goes. So you can choose to send your fees to different bank accounts. So for example, if you want to basically cover your costs to the company, you can have a company bank account and you can have all the fees go to the company bank account where the money from the association goes to the association. So you can choose this by picking which bank account you want the monies for the fees to go to. Now, credit card fees, as you probably know, I mean, credit card fee, it's a higher fee. Typically, it's a percentage fee based on what was paid, whereas ACH, it's a flat fee, right? So what we do is we give you the option to say, okay, who do you want to pay these fees? And you're usually going to select either between payee and account, usually the payee, right? You don't want to necessarily cover the cost of these, but especially for credit card, because credit card fees can become really expensive. So it gives you here the ability to say, okay, do I charge a percentage based on the amount or a fixed dollar amount? And with credit card fees, we always suggest that you do a percentage. Now, what we do here is we give you a little fee calculator that says, okay, if my average, say, association fee or rent fee is $850 a month, you can see, okay, if I charge 3%, you're going to charge the tenant $25.38 in transactions fees. And then effectively, it's going to show that you're going to make 13 cents on that transaction. So it's a little bit of a profit based on that. But if you go, I want to charge 1.5%, right? It's going to show, okay, well, we're going to charge. So this is our cost to you, right? And then so you're basically going to owe, you're going to lose $12.63. So this gives you the ability to be able to say, okay, well, what do I want to charge my users? For a $2,000, I'm going to make $10 on this transaction at a 3.5% fee. So it allows you to kind of set and figure out, okay, well, what do I want to charge? Same thing goes for the ACH. So for ACH, people who pay by credit card goes through these route. People who pay by ACH goes through this route. So this gives you the same ability to kind of look at that. Again, you can change this over time. It's not fixed. But once someone does pay a fee or they go through the e-payment process, it's not going to change, right? It's only going to change for the future things. And that's all you need to do from a setup perspective. So once it's set up, everything that goes through can follow those rules. Now, we also give you the ability to override this. You can override it per lease, right? Or you can override it per other criteria. But this is the default. This is the default kind of settings. So now that you're ready to, I'm all set up. I've been verified. I've got my e-payment processing fees all set up. Now I want to start charging my users, right? So what's the way that we recommend you to set up, to welcome you users to start using e-payments, right? So this could be a whole nother webinar. I'm just going to quickly blaze through it. We have under templates, under more features templates, we've given, there's a default template out there called ePayments. And I've already created one here. This ePayments template, you can at any time, you can look at it, you can go in and you can edit this template. It's a very WYSIWYG, you can customize it any way you want. And what this allows you to do is you can see, like yesterday, I sent an email to one recipient. And when I send out new communications, I actually can choose. I can say I don't want to send any invoices. If I just want to send an introductory email, I can include all outstanding invoices to the list of people that I'm sending, or I can just send anything that's past due. So I'll just do this one, and I'm going to go ahead and send. This gives me, I can quickly just add somebody here. Let's say I'm going to add Jerry. I could add the whole list. And here's the options that I have available. I can send it as an email, which is what I did yesterday, or I could actually send a paper mail for the US, for US users. I also have the ability to send a ManageCasa message or just save it as a file. So yesterday I sent this as an email and it went out to the user. And just as an example, this is the email that the user got. So as you can see, the email looks exactly like what was in the templates, and it gives them this is provided to all ManageCasa users, and you can use this, and again you can edit it and change it to whatever you want. But this is like a really good introductory way of saying, hey, you can pay this as you want. And as you see, I included any outstanding invoices. So not only did they get the e-payment message and how do you set it up and why should you set it up, right? But they also got the invoice, so they can say, oh yeah, I do owe this $250. So this is a really good way of kind of letting your users know, your homeowners or your tenants know, hey, you can pay electronically, and at the same time send out the invoices to them. And again, this you can send this out as paper as well, so they get it in their mailbox. All really good things. Okay, so now that I've sent out the users, I've sent them a notification, and I'm sitting there, I'm just waiting. Now, I want to show you how easy it is for a tenant or homeowner to pay their invoice, right? So I've logged into another account here, and this account is Jerry Brand. He's a property owner, and when Jerry logs in, he sees at the very on his dashboard, he's like, oh, hey, I've got a current balance. What do I need to do? So it's as simple here as just clicking the Pay Now button. So you go in, click Pay Now, and you can go in and you can choose, whether I pay by credit card or bank account, right? And as I switch between the two, you can see the processing fee changes as well. Now, maybe Jerry doesn't want to necessarily pay the full amount, right? He maybe wants to pay a little bit different. So he can go in and say, no, I just want to pay $100, or he can pay more, right? He can pay more than what he wants to pay. The processing fees all remain the same, right? But it changes based on percentage. Now, let's see, I'll just do credit card. And what you see here is, I have a very convenient way to just add a credit card. This is a test account. So this is it's a standard test thing. And I could also download my invoice. I can see everything that's going on, and I can decide to make a payment. So that's it. That's all I needed to do. Now, $100 plus processing fee has gone over to the account. It's marked that as paid, and that's all good to go. The other thing I can do is say, well, okay, I want to make this payment. I know this is a monthly payment, and I want to do that every month. So I have the ability here to go in and say, okay, starting in, let's see, I want to start in April. So starting in April, I basically want to pay, basically pay to this account, this amount, and I can choose which, like if I just want to pay for rent or pay for association dues, I can do that here. So I can pick specifically which ones, or I can just pay everything that's due. So it gives me flexibility around what I want to pay and how I want to pay. All right, so that's once they've logged in and they on their dashboard, they can see everything that they've got. Now, the other thing I want to show you is on our mobile app. Just give me a second. I want to bring this up, and I'm going to switch my screen to share that. All right. All right. So this is the mobile app. So again, I've logged in as Jerry Brand, and you can see, my balance is updated, right? So it's the same balance as what we just saw on the website. Now, logging on this tool, the mobile app gives me all kinds of stuff. I can actually send messages back and forth. to my property owner. I won't do that now. Another webinar. This thing. Okay, so on the mobile phone, right, I can do the same thing. I can just click pay now. And here, if I had multiple charges, I could choose which charges I want to pay by just hitting select, or I could just click the one that I want to pay. And it gives me a very similar look and feel to say, okay, I have this, I owe $159. It's going to charge the processing fee. I can choose bank account, same back and flow as we saw on the website, right? Now I can check out. And here's where we have the Apple Pay. The Apple Pay is on the Mac. I can just say yes. I'm going to do Apple Pay. I'm going to pay it with this one anyway. Okay, and then pay. So it's as simple as that. So I've now just paid that charge. Payment succeed. I can go back. You can see there's no outstanding charges, and everything has been paid. So that's a simple, very simple, straightforward, makes it really easy for homeowners and tenants to pay via the mobile app. They can do it wherever they're at. If they're on the beach, they're like, oh yeah, I got to pay my association fees. They can do it right then and there. And the beauty with all that is, I'm going to go back to here, and we can look up Jerry here, and let's just go to Jerry's account. And you can see everything's been paid, right? So you can see all the transactions that Jerry has. Everything here has been paid. This is the one that we just created.
Yeah, the stream.
And you see the 2 payments that were made on that right down here. And it's as simple as that. Now, once it's been paid, that money, oh wait, I'm not sharing. Sorry, I apologize. Let me go back. So here's Jerry. You can see that transaction and the 2 payments that we were made. Now, it does take about a day. Credit cards are a lot quicker than ACH transfers, but that money will flow. It'll tell you when it's going to be available. Both of these are going to be available on tomorrow. And once they're available, it will flow directly to your bank account. And all of that stuff happens automatically. And because all of these payments came through the system, all of those transactions get downloaded automatically if you've got bank sync turned on, and the coding in the bank in the deposit that we put in will be matched automatically to the transactions that were created in the system. So it completes that circle, creates that loop, and everything's tied together very, very neatly. And that's why it's a time saver, because literally there's no effort on your side. I've shown you what the property owner has to do to pay, but there's no effort on your side to mark anything as paid. The invoices get marked as paid automatically. All the transactions flow to your bank automatically. The bank sync and the bank reconciliation comes back, it matches automatically. And then it makes your reconciliation just a matter of a click and say, yes, that's exactly what matched. And that's electronic payments. And quick and simple and easy for users to make payments, and for you guys, for you as property managers and association managers to manage all your payments without really doing anything, without just watching it flow.
Okay, thank you, Drew, for that very engaging and informative live demo. So I think we already have some questions here. Let me just get that for you. All right. Can ManageCasa create a separate invoice for e-payment charges? And can there be a separate bank account exclusive for e-payment fees?
Yeah, that's a great question. I did on my demo account. I do. Yeah, so on this particular demo account, I only have one bank account. I could create a separate bank account through deposit methods from the company, and then within the e-payment settings, if I say I just want all the fees to go to that separate bank account, I can set it up this way, so that all fees go to that bank account, and the actual charges for association fees or whatever go to uh, a different bank account.
All right. I think that also answered the other question about how to connect the bank account for e-payment. So we'll skip that. Let's proceed to the next question, Drew. Is there a section in the portal that will show details of e-payment charges, including breakdown of fees, dates, and property owner information?
There is. So, what you want to do is under settings, there's a section called invoices, and within invoices, this is all invoices that have come down and been charged. This one is for the subscription, but we give a breakdown of where. Oh, this actually does have an eBay, so you can see, where all the e-payments flows come down, and then on a production account, it actually has a link to the actual individual transactions that are part of that.
Right. Wonderful. There's another question here. I think we can still, take this one. I'm concerned about the monthly ACH or credit card fees. Is there a way for us to reduce these fees?
Yeah. So credit card fees are it's a tough topic, right? Because the banks charge those fees, right? And somebody's got to pay the fees, and the fees go through, and they're really, there isn't a super great way of doing it. So our recommendation is you can reduce the frequency of charges. So or you can encourage people to, essentially, pay more. Now the fees it's a percentage. ACH. Yeah, so ACH fees, you can reduce the frequency, right? You can have like an annual instead of monthly, and so someone's only paying the ACH fee once. Credit card fees is a different topic because it's percentage based, and that's just it's the bank, right? We try to minimize and keep that as low as possible for you. We don't make any money on credit card charges. We pass all those fees directly to you. So the thing is you can make it, because you have the ability to choose how much you charge for credit card fees. You can make it prohibitively expensive if you so desire for people, such that they're incentivized not to use credit card because it's a much higher cost than ACH. And then with ACH, you can reduce the frequency.
Right, right. Makes sense. Anyway, that's all of the questions that we have. Some were already answered previously by the other questions that were raised. So let me just thank everyone again for joining us today. We hope you're feeling more confident about switching to electronic payments and ready to make your payment processes simpler and more secure. Remember, if you have any further questions after the webinar, feel free to reach out. We're always here to help. So have a great day, and we'll look forward to hearing about your success with ePayments.